Greetings, one and all, to the most cursed, most cringiest corner of the internet. A YouTube channel content creator actively alienating everyone in both the analog and digital world. Well, welcome and good evening, you wonderful dice of all alignments. I am Lunar D8. Are you sure? We'll stay here tonight if you like. I'm fine. Besides, I don't have any extra pajamas and blankets for you guys. See you tomorrow, then. We'll try and stay with you as much as we can from now on. How about we do club activities here after school? That would be wonderful. Meep. My floor might break with all these people here. Wahaha, it might really break. Well, Rika-chama. We're going home now, but be careful. Do not go out alone in the dark under any circumstances. I'll be careful. All right, see you tomorrow. Yes, see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Am I really going to see them tomorrow? I have no clue. I've tried so many things over the past 100 years. I've done many things, and I have memories of most of them. That's why I feel so scared at the day I die. It's the only day that I have no memory of. I don't even know if I'm approaching or escaping my death right now. All I know is that this fear is going to continue until I find some kind of solution. As I started getting ready to go to bed, Satoko suggested that I should sleep in my regular clothes rather than in my pajamas. She was thinking that I should remain dressed just in case someone tries to attack me in my sleep. It sounded ridiculous, but she was just trying to be considerate. I decided to do what she told me to. Satoko seemed so sleepy until a few minutes ago, but she suddenly started passionately explaining to me all the traps she set on the shrine grounds. She assured me that the strangers will end up trapped if they try to sneak inside this building. To someone else it might sound like she was just trying to brag, but Satoko was trying to make me feel better. After everyone else left, she noticed how scared I looked. Satoko's kindness, and everyone else's kindness. I feel it was the right decision for me to talk to my friends, even if that won't end up changing my fate. Reika? Hanyu showed up again. She looked upset, so she was probably still thinking that I could get killed at any minute. But I'm actually starting to feel a little better. I might get killed tomorrow, but I feel like I can rest safely at least tonight. I'm more concerned about the fact that Oishi didn't show up. Still, even if he didn't, the other detectives are here, and will stay on guard downstairs without sleeping. As long as they're here, I think I'll be safe tonight. What's wrong? Are you hungry? I didn't eat anything sweet today. Do you want me to drink some juice? Hanyu would usually cheer right up when I suggested drinking some juice, but not this time. Her face looked pale, as if she wasn't even alive. Something out of the ordinary had clearly happened. What's wrong? It's almost time. That sounded far more like a declaration than a prediction. Even Hanyu doesn't have any memories of my death. There's no way she can tell when I will be killed. However, she sounded so certain just now. Perhaps we can feel it in the very cells of our body. Our bodies understand fate far better than we do. Up until now, I felt reassured that we could get through it somehow if we were all together. But as I clung to that life preserver with the hole leaking air, I was starting to drown in the sea of despair and struggling to keep my head above water. No, I can't let myself feel that way. I have to believe. It's okay, Hanyu. I'm going to fight. Even if I get killed tomorrow, I'm not going to die tonight. Ellipses. Hanyu just gave me a look of faint sadness. You gonna let me know Oishi's dead? The silence told me that my pitiful hope was going to push me down into a futile reality. Do you guys say futile or futile? I stared at Satoko as she continued to brag about her traps. If I'm getting killed shortly, Satoko won't be safe either. I quickly interrupted her talking about traps. The time was 1 in the morning. As it's hardly a big city, 1 a.m. in Hinamizawa, or Hinamizawa, is the middle of the night. The darkness here gets very deep. There was light leaking out from the first floor where the 2 detectives sat on guard, but everything else was pitch black. Even the moonlight seemed indistinct. It's time. 2 detectives are downstairs. It's been more than an hour since the light went out above them, awaiting orders to begin the attack. What a beautiful night. You have permission to engage. Should we terminate the detectives? Yes. Everyone in the Furude Shrine will be demoned away tonight. It's better that way. HQ to Phoenix, commence the mission. Terminate the 2 detectives. You do not have permission to fire. I repeat, you do not have permission to fire your weapons. HQ to Nightingale, Phoenix has commenced the mission. Shut down the phone lines. Roger, we're shutting them down. They had been working to disable the phone lines just in case their target tried to contact the police during the attack. That mission was what Oishi happened to bump into. Let's begin. Phoenix 1 to all units. Be prepared when you enter. Terminate the 2 detectives on the first floor and the 1 companion on the second floor. Do not leave any evidence. Do not fire your weapons or use any gas. Use your tasers. Remember, they have guns. Do not let them fire. Come on, don't embarrass me, Okanogi. Hee hee. I'm just doing my job. Phoenix 7 and 8, advance forward. Backup teams, secure the perimeter. Roger. We're heading in now. The 2 men in uniform slowly approached the building. The mountain dog's uniform is gray, so it didn't blend in with their surroundings at all. However, it doesn't look as suspicious as real camouflage suits. Of course, they looked suspicious enough, creeping up to the house like that anyway. They could both see light leaking from the door and hear the voices of the detectives. Rika would typically use this sliding door to get inside. The door was locked, but the mountain dogs had obtained a spare key a long time ago. They put the key in the keyhole, but it wouldn't go in smoothly. They were certain it would make some kind of noise when they turned it. The detectives would notice them the minute they did that. They'd have to rush inside and defeat them in one swift burst. Phoenix's 7 and 8 glanced at each other. This is Phoenix 7. We've arrived at the target location, waiting for your command. Takano here. Make it nice and clean. Go ahead. Roger. We're breaking in. Clack, clack. He turned the key in a hurry and opened the lock. By the time the detectives turned around, the door was already open, and the two mountain dogs had stepped inside. They had aimed their weapons at the detectives while the latter were still turning around. In a fight like that, the first 2 seconds are the most crucial moments. Ugh, ugh. The detectives collapsed, making minimal noise. There were needles stuck in their bodies, and those needles were connected via wires to the attackers' guns. In other words, the weapons those two had weren't ordinary guns. They were stun guns in the shape of firearms. Instead of bullets, they shoot out electric needles that electrocute their victims into unconsciousness. Normally, they would be non-lethal weapons that allow the shooter to capture their victim without harming them much. But their tasers had been modified. The two dogs started walking up the stairs as soon as they confirmed that the detectives were no longer breathing. But in the next moment, they heard a loud noise above them. "This is Phoenix 10. R and her companion have noticed us." They just jumped out from the second floor window. They're running into the forest. Attention, Phoenix 4 and 5. They're heading your way. Capture them. Roger, let's go. Phoenix 4 spotted the two girls and started after them, but he suddenly stepped on something hard. Pow-pow-pow! With a cheap-sounding explosion. The area was filled with smoke. That was the trap Satoko had set using firecrackers. They had proven to be a very fortunate idea. The mountain dogs dropped to the ground, assuming that they were under fire. That gave Rika and Satoko a chance to escape. Who are they? Are they the organization from Tokyo that you were talking about? I think so. Just run. We're dead if they catch us. What's going on? What was that noise? This is Phoenix 5. Someone was shooting at us. R has escaped. We'll continue the pursuit. Shit. They were just some firecrackers. Damn it! That must be Satoko-chan's handiwork. She's pretty good, hee hee. What? Hurry up! Don't let them escape inside someone's house. This is Phoenix 18. I've spotted the target. I need some backup. They know this area very well. If we don't get them now, they will definitely lose them. This wasn't a game of hide and seek. It was a game of tag. Several men in uniform were chasing after Rika and Satoko. They weren't idiots, so they didn't waste energy on a futile act of shouting, "Wait!" This was a quiet, deadly game of tag in the middle of the night. Ha, ha, ha. Where are we going? Let's split up and try to shake them off. We'll meet at Mi's house. Her basement will be safe, and we can contact the police from there. Satoko had no idea that Mion had a basement in her house, but she didn't have time to ask anything about it under their current circumstances. All she did was nod. Bang! The next moment I felt my left foot catch on something and I fell down to the ground. I must have tripped on a rock or a piece of concrete. But Rika! Get out of here, Satoko. You'll be killed. But Satoko wouldn't move on without me. She came back to lend me a hand. I stood up without her help, but this cost us too much time. One of the men had almost caught up with us. I didn't know what to do, but Satoko, upon seeing him, quickly reacted. Ah! Ugh! Satoko ran toward him and kicked him with all her might. Her foot had landed right in his face. I wish I had a camera. But there were two more of them right behind the first man. I can see them clearly now. They're the gardeners from that landscape company. They're wearing the same uniforms Okanogi is always wearing. They must be the mountain dogs. Now I'm certain that Takano is the culprit. And now that I know that, I can do something about it in the next world. But if I die now, will I lose my memory again? I can't die now. I need to survive so I can keep my memories. Satoko took something out of her pocket and threw it at them. It was something like sand, and it blinded them. Pocket sand! However, even that could only buy us a few seconds. Satoko tried to run, but she froze as soon as they aimed their weapons at us. Their stun guns are only shaped like firearms. Satoko, not knowing that, thought they were real guns. I mean, they'll still kill us. Knowing that she'll be shot if she turned and ran, Satoko tried to attack them instead. Honestly, the best and smartest thing she could do. Of course, there are 3 of them. Most would think it is impossible to drive them off, but Satoko didn't think about that. She had a 100% chance of dying if she tried to run. Still technically true, because 1, they're modified stun guns that will kill even an adult. 2, even if the stun gun doesn't kill us, they're still going to kill us while we're unconscious. Then she might as well fight back, because she might have a 1% chance of defeating them. Satoko is determined to save me, even at her own expense. But I can't stay in this world if it means losing Satoko. I'm dying anyway. I'd rather die for Satoko's sake than lose her. But another me was shouting in my mind, if I don't survive this, I'll lose this memory. If I die without keeping this memory, this life and everything I've learned will all be wasted. Should I escape and leave Satoko behind? That's right. I should use this experience to my advantage in the next life. In my next life, I should just let go of her in this world. No way. That really would make me a witch. But I know in my heart, there's no way I can win against these guys. I'm sure their backup will be here. We'll get here if we take our time to fight them. Should I fight them for her, or should I leave so I can confront my true enemy? A. Leave Satoko and keep my memories. B. Save Satoko and lose my memories. Satoko! Satoko's bravery gives me courage. If I left her, I'd lose my motivation to defeat fate. I don't care if I lose my memories. It only took 100 years for me to get this information. I don't care if I have to spend another 100 years in the same June. I can't leave Satoko. Satoko, I'm fighting too. Rika? I told you to go. I had noticed something. They're only aiming at Satoko. There must be a reason why they can't shoot me. So I stood in front of Satoko to protect her. Just as I expected, they put their guns down and prepared to take us without weapons. You guys are the mountain dogs, so Takano's behind this. Yeah, I'm so stupid. I know who you are, but I chose not to run. I'm not going to run. Even if you're going to kill me now. Someone once told me that fate can be destroyed as easily as a piece of paper. They must think this is my final speech. They let me talk until I was finished. You people are pathetic. That's why you will never kill me. The next moment, one of them dropped to the ground. Keiichi had run toward him and kicked him from behind. Keiichi had kicked him right in the small of his back, and the dog was squirming on the ground. The other 2 tried to retaliate, but they were too late. Mion grabbed one of the guy's arms from behind and flipped him down to the ground. It must be some kind of martial art. I've seen something like that in an action movie before. Rena tried to push the remaining dog down with all her strength, but that wasn't enough to take him out. He tried to aim his gun at Rena. But she had already done what she was supposed to. All she needed to do was get his attention. Shion had snuck up behind him, and she fired her stun gun into his neck. The stun gun made a snapping noise, and the dog fell down to the ground with the rest of his friends. Wow! Kasai told me this was illegally modified. It works pretty well. Shion, hit this guy too. Are you guys okay? That was close. You ran so fast it took us a lot of time to catch up. I'm really glad we stuck around. We were waiting out here in case anything happened. You mean you stayed out here without going back home? Yep. I saw someone who looked suspicious staring at the shrine when we were leaving. I mean, technically when you were living, you're about to all die. I'm really surprised you saw him in this darkness. Neither. Do you guys say neither or neither? Lies nor camouflage work on you, huh? So figuring he would leave if they spoke to him, they secretly staked out that suspicious man. They started following us as soon as they heard the sound of the firecrackers. I never expected I'd be saved like this. We can't stay here any longer. What should we do now? We were trying to get to Mion-san's house. You have a basement there, apparently. The underground storehouse. That's a perfect spot. We've also got weapons inside there. Shh! Don't say that out loud. Anyway, I think that's a good idea. There's several secret passages in there, so we can get the drop on them. Come on, let's go. They're still after us. A white van was approaching us at high speed. Remember that white van has been seen in every single chapter of this game.